On TradingView, I have opened btcusd on the 1-hour chart. Click Indicators, and search for Supertrend Plus Relative Volume Kernel Optimized. Add it to the chart. Once you load the indicator, you will still see the core supertrend logic on the chart. You get the supertrend line itself, and you also get the trend state. Bullish when price is above the line, bearish when price is below it. In the updated versions, it also includes trend coloring, a fill gradient, and options that let you disable the supertrend line or the fill if you want a cleaner chart. So visually, it still feels like a supertrend tool, but the real power here is the probability layer built on top of it. Now let's talk about the part that makes this indicator different, and that is the KDE%. This is basically a probability estimate. It tells you how likely the current break of the supertrend line is to be a real break supported by meaningful volume, instead of just a random flip. So, if the KDE% is low, the indicator is telling you this break does not look very convincing compared to the kinds of breaks that historically lead to real moves. If the KDE% is moderate or high, then the message changes. Now the break is starting to look more like the type of move that usually matters. Here is how it works in simple words. First, it calculates the supertrend using ATR, just like a normal supertrend does. Second, it calculates relative volume during those breaks. Third, it applies kernel density estimation, or KDE, to those historical break events and their volume behavior. Finally, it converts all of that into the KDE% you see on the chart. Then it checks that value against your threshold. So if you open the settings, you can do that from here. Yes, so if the KDE% is above your chosen activation threshold, the signal is treated as higher confidence. If it is below, the signal can still appear, but it is shown with lower confidence, usually more transparent, so you know not to treat it the same way. Now, let's go through the settings because this indicator becomes much better when you understand what each part is actually doing. First, you have the normal supertrend settings. The ATR length controls how the average true range is measured. A shorter ATR length makes the supertrend react faster, so you get earlier flips, but also more noise. A longer ATR length slows it down, which means fewer flips, but often cleaner ones. Then you have the multiplier. A smaller multiplier keeps the supertrend line closer to price, which again gives earlier flips but more whipsaws. A larger multiplier pushes the line farther away, which gives fewer flips and usually more trend-focused signals. Then you have the KDE settings, and this is where the strictness of the probability engine comes from. Bandwidth controls how smooth the KDE curve is. Lower bandwidth makes the model more sensitive to recent and specific patterns, which can feel sharper but also noisier. Higher bandwidth smooths things out, which can reduce noise but also make the model slower. Then you have the number of bins or steps. More steps means more detail in the KDE calculation. Fewer steps means a more general calculation. Higher steps can make the model feel more refined, but it may also be a bit heavier depending on the chart and your device. Then you have the KDE threshold %, and this setting is very important.
Do you feel like everyone around you benefits from artificial intelligence, but you have no idea where to start? Don't wait any longer. Start today. Our free trading bot is simple to use, powered by artificial intelligence, and can earn you up to 1% profit every single day. Over 500 members have already joined. Click the link below now to get free access. This is your chance to harness the power of AI and take a step toward a financial boost.
This is basically the confidence line. If you set it lower, you will get more high confidence signals. But quality can drop because weaker breaks will start passing through. If you set it higher, you will get fewer high confidence signals. But the ones you do get are usually the more convincing ones. Then you have relative volume length, which controls how the current volume is compared to average volume. A shorter length makes relative volume react faster. A longer length smooths the reading and makes unusually high volume harder to trigger. You also have display options, like showing or hiding the KDE% text. disabling the supertrend line, or removing the fill gradient. So if you want a very clean chart, you can strip it down and keep only the signal arrows and trend state. If you want the full context, you can leave everything on. Now let's talk about how to actually trade this the right way, because this indicator is not about taking every flip. It is about treating every flip differently based on quality. So let's start with a clean buy trade setup. First, we want the price to be in a bearish phase. Then a candle breaks above the supertrend line and closes above it. That is your first signal, but not the entry yet. Now you look at the KDE percent on that breakout candle. If the KDE percent is low, you do not chase it. That is exactly the kind of weak flip that often fails. If the KDE percent is moderate to high, and the bullish arrow appears as the stronger, darker signal after confirmation, now you start paying attention. That means the break is behaving more like the kind of bullish break that historically matters and has better volume support behind it. But even then, the best entry is not blindly buying the breakout candle. The cleaner entry is after confirmation, usually on the next candle or on a small pullback that still respects the supertrend line as support. If price breaks above and then instantly drops back under the line, skip it. If it breaks above with a strong KDE reading, holds above the line, and then gives follow-through, that is the one you want. For stop loss, the clean options are either below the supertrend line or below the most recent swing low, depending on how tight you want the trade. For targets, you can use 1.5R, previous highs, a local range high, or a nearby resistance zone. Now the sell setup is the exact same logic in reverse. Price is bullish, then it breaks below the supertrend line and closes below it. That is step 1. Then you check the KDE percent. If it is low, do not rush into the sell trade. That is weak conviction. If it is moderate to high, and the bearish arrow appears in the stronger, darker form after confirmation, now the break starts looking statistically more meaningful. Again, you do not just sell instantly because the arrow appeared. The better entry is after confirmation, ideally on the next candle or on a retest where the supertrend line acts as resistance. If price breaks below and then immediately reclaims the line, skip it. If it breaks below with strong KDE support, stays below, and then continues, that is the sell trade you want. The stop can go above the supertrend line or above the most recent swing high, and the target can again be 1.5R or the next support zone. And one more important thing before you use this live, always manage your risk properly. Even the strongest looking signal can fail. That is it for this one. If you found this useful, leave your questions in the comments and I will answer them as soon as possible. And if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon so you do not miss the next video. See you in the next one, and good luck with your trading.